Welcome to episode 6 of Lex Manifest. My name is Lex. This is my manifestation. This episode is called Beauty is Soul Deep. This episode really touches close to home for a few reasons. I've been learning a lot of really big lessons lately when it comes to physical and external type of things. And I think most people know today's beauty standards are not exactly mental health friendly. At this point, I'd say it's detrimental for both men and women. There's a lot of pressure for everyone to look a certain way. For so long, the beauty standards have been literally impossible. Thanks to Photoshop, even the models don't look like the models that you see in the magazines. It also seems like the pressure is starting younger and younger. When you look at 14-year-olds today versus when I was 14, we looked goofy. Today, it's like people are maturing faster and faster. And while the pressure to mature is starting younger, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, people are trying to slow aging, using surgeries and many different things. With all this happening, there's so much pressure to focus on external beauty. And in my perspective, throughout all of this, one thing remains absolutely true. That true beauty comes from within. For me, you can be the most aesthetically pleasing person, but if you're not a good person, it actually does start to affect the way that person looks to me. And by good, I mean authentic and kind. And on the other end of the spectrum, someone may not fit the golden standard of beauty, but oh my God, if that soul shine, the person just starts to physically look more and more and more attractive. It's almost like that movie Shallow Hal, where he gets hypnotized and suddenly he's seeing the internal beauty or the internal on the outside. I really do think there is a lot of truth to that movie, or at least that's how I experience it. If someone's soul shines, they're automatically so much more beautiful. My whole life, I've struggled with insecurity, and it's actually sad how common that is amongst pretty much everyone I know. When COVID hit, I went through a really difficult juncture. I lost my job, which was an extremely active job, and I was stuck sitting in a house. I was drinking a lot. I lost my cat. I gained a lot of weight. And overall, it was just a massive juncture of extreme struggle. And even now and through that, I look back at pictures of myself before COVID hit, and I was actually tiny, and I authentically, fully thought that I was big. I would see pictures of myself, I would look in the mirror, I saw fat. I had legit dysmorphia, and that was just the truth for me. It's interesting how when we believe or feel something so deeply, we actually can start to see that. And then in hindsight, I'm like, well, I would definitely take that size again, no problem. And even though gaining weight was really difficult for me, there were a lot of really, really important lessons held in it that I'm actually very grateful I learned. I realized that I judged other people a lot. I would see people who had maybe a little bit more weight on them, and I would think to myself, why don't they just take care of it? And when I went through an experience where it wasn't that simple, I developed a lot of humility. I realized there's a lot more than meets the eye when it comes to that. Buying clothes became extremely devastating. I couldn't even do it without having a mental breakdown. I wouldn't allow people to take pictures of me. I even refused to go around my friends because I didn't want them to see me like that. It truly was one of the most humbling experiences that I've had in this lifetime. And I have already lost about 60% of the weight that I gained. There's still a bit of a journey there, but I'm at a place where I don't tie my value as a person to my external appearance. And I don't know if I would have gotten here had I not had an experience where I felt completely devastated by my external appearance. And even now, I'm having another similar experience with post-COVID hair loss. I did a bit of research, found out it's actually common that a couple months after having COVID, for some people, your hair can start coming out. And what these articles had said, in many of them, is it's a natural shedding process that gets sped up by the virus and the stress that's on the body, and it can last for 3 to 9 months and be up to 50% of your hair. And I did a post on my personal social media asking for help, basically, because the amount I was losing was really extreme. And I was amazed at how many people responded that are experiencing the exact same thing. There was at least a dozen women reaching out saying the same thing was happening to them. And a lot of people have sent me recommendations on how to help stop the hair loss and help with hair health from inside. And I'm working on an ongoing document that has all the recommendations in it. I'm going to link it in this podcast. And if you don't see it and you're interested in it, please reach out to me and I will send it to you. I got a lot of really great recommendations, a lot of different recommendations too. So it'll be an ongoing list that I will update as I get more. But I really think with this many people experiencing it, we should start focusing on what's working and finding solutions. And like I said, I'm learning a lot of similar lessons I did when I started gaining weight. I am not my external. And I didn't realize how attached to my hair I was until I started losing it. And it was a deep emotional attachment. And I feel like I'm in a space of needing to just let go and trust and let go of my hair. And again, my value does not change, nor does anyone else's, based on external appearances. And since this is a podcast about beauty, something that I find incredibly beautiful in other people is when they have a sense of self-love and then they extend that love to other people, and it just comes from a place where you can tell they're just whole, like they just love. And some ideas I put together to put self-love into action is smile at yourself in the mirror. Just make yourself do it. Even if it's uncomfortable, just look at yourself smiling. There's been a lot of studies that show when you do smile, and especially when you see yourself smile, it changes the chemistry. It changes how you think, and it can be wildly beneficial. Another really powerful thing to do is sit down and thank your body. It's the vessel that carries your consciousness. So taking time to really just sit and anchor in and feel in like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful for my feet. They support me and I can walk. I can do all these cool things because my feet exist. That's awesome. And just moving through the different parts of your body, really just showing gratitude. I think so often we're very self-critical. I know for myself, I don't take the time I should to really thank my body. Another really powerful thing is find things that you love in others and then compliment them. Yes, out loud, to their face. Can be friends, can be strangers, but the more we look for the good in others, the more the good starts to show up in us. I truly believe that. And it can be a lot of fun. At first, if you're not used to doing it, it can be really uncomfortable, like, okay, I'm going to tell this person this. And then eventually it just shifts until it's just a natural thing. Another really big one is to catch yourself when you're being mean or judgmental and deconstruct the thought. Get really curious. And try to deconstruct where that thought's actually coming from. Like, is that your thought? Or did it come from an idea of how you should look or how you should be? Vulnerability, and especially when shared, can be very scary, but the rewards are deeply profound. Every time I share vulnerably, I get at least a dozen people in my inbox with a me too, or I'm going through something similar, and it leads to really beautiful conversations. And the more we share, the more we hold space for others to feel okay when they're moving through something similar, because odds are there's a lot of people moving through similar things at the same time. Again, beauty is soul deep. Not everything is how it appears. In this lifetime, your physical beauty and ability is going to fade. It's essentially a depreciating asset, but the substance of your soul is forever. So really the biggest message here is be kind to yourself. Yourself first, and then extend that kindness to everybody that you come into contact with. So many people are struggling, especially when it comes to our ideas of what external beauty needs to be like. So I think the more people who consciously share their light and do the work to intrinsically know and value themselves beyond anything that's outside of their control or an external factor, the better off we're all going to be. So go smile at yourself in a mirror. Thank every part of your body for the amazing job it's doing. Find things in others that you can love and compliment, and catch yourself when you're being mean or judgmental, both to yourself and to others. I hope you found some value in this episode. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon.